Plug Talk is the best. Only podcast where the host smash the guest. Yeah. Plug Talk is the best. Only podcast where the host smash the guest. Yeah.
What else did you do for the first time in that you hadn't done before?
Okay, so boy, girl,
They were all your first. You did all the wow. Pegging. Okay.
Yeah.
So you did all these things for the first time on camera, and then how many of them sort of enter into your private life?
I haven't met a guy in my private life who will let me peg them yet.
Are you interested in that?
I mean, I'd be open to that. Like, if that was his kink, like, I'm okay with it.
You could still respect him as a man?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how long did you do before you took your break, and why did you take your break?
Okay, so I did about 5 years. I was active for 5 years, and I was literally like full time, and I was living in LA. And then I took a break in 2019 for a year. I came back in the beginning of 2020. I had already fulfilled all my agency contracts. So at that time, I was independent. So at that time, any directors that had hit me up like during my break during 2019, I let them know like, hey, I'm returning. And I ended up yet again being booked 3 months solid in the beginning of 2020. Now, skip jump to, as we all know, we had the pandemic. So it was like we were all forced to like not work anymore. I think even up to like 7 months.
Yeah.
And I was like, fuck, I should have just waited to take my break in 2020. And then, I don't know, the 1 year break turned into like a 5 years break because I got used to just not going to set or shooting or doing anything. I was dating somebody that was fairly wealthy where we were just traveling together, and I was still in my 20s, you know, and I was still kind of just like reflecting. But ultimately, that initial break that was intentional was just like a mental health break, because it was like I felt burnt out. Like I felt like I'm saying yes to everything. I'm saying yes to everything. Like, because I used to do like everything, like going to conventions, like feature dancing, like live sex shows, webcam shows, production,
You could
shooting my
start
own
doing all
content
that stuff.
before.
You start doing all that stuff, and it can be, I think some people can kind of like lose track of who they are, because all of a sudden you're spending all your time maximizing your profits from sex work. And I feel like sometimes that's just hard for people. They jump all the way into it, and then they sometimes have buyer's remorse.
Friends of mine would be like, why are you renting this big house? Because I had like a really nice house in Studio City. I was renting it, but when you're never home. And I was like, because when I am home, I want to enjoy like all, you know, the fruits of your labor kind of thing, you know. And I had like 5 animals, and I was just, yeah. But it was like I was like barely home. I think I'd be home either half of the time or a fourth of the time, because I was just always working. And then on my days off when I was in LA, I'm like getting my nails done, I'm going to the gym, like I'm getting my hair done, like, you know, I'm running errands, going and getting tested. So
but then
just,
okay, you decided to take the break, and then it ended up being longer than you expected. What made you decide, fuck it, I'm coming back?
So that serious relationship that I was in, when I first met this person, all of the things that we wanted with each other, like, he wasn't able to commit to give them to me right away.
Marriage, kids?
Right. So he ended up getting relocated to Hong Kong in Asia, and we were having kind of this like long distance relationship. And then when COVID hit, it was kind of like, there's no point in me needing to be exclusive. But I also don't really like date. And then also during that time, like you weren't even able to go out and like socialize. Not really. So I kind of just still kept this relationship going with this person. Then as I got older and we were spending more time together and like rekindling the relationship, he does have a previous wife, and he does have 2 kids from that
so
previous
he's
marriage.
not really stressing it. Like, it's not as exciting to him as it was to you.
Well, I think because I started to get older, I started to like get like triggered like of my dad. I remember my dad's second wife. I barely knew her. She was in her 20s, and he's like, yeah, so this is your new stepmom. And I was like, what the fuck? Of course, I'm a kid, so I don't understand. I'm not saying that, but in my head, I'm like, I don't know this woman, like, you know. So I started to get cold feet because the thing about it is like his ex-wife, he's paying her spousal support. She's not going to be happy about that when we get remarried because they're probably going to have to renegotiate that contract. And then I'm actually closer to his kid's age, so that was going to be a little awkward for me. Although coming back into the industry, you know, when they asked me if I wanted to do MILF scenes, I said yes. I was just like very curious and like open about it. But I think even if I wasn't coming back into the industry, that probably would have been, I was going to become a stepmom to like teenagers, like people who are like about to go to college. Like that's how old they were.
Right.
So, yeah, no, I just started to get cold feet. Something just felt like, I don't know. I don't want to be like my dad. Like my parents divorced when I was 3, and I just started to feel like I was always nervous to like meet his kids, so I would put that off for a very long time, you know? And then as it started getting closer to it, I realized like I had to have a conversation and say, I don't think I can give you all the things that you wanted from me before. I felt also too that I was kind of losing my independence. I felt like even though, you know, I can have this whole family life, like I felt like I would still need to cater to him as well. Even though he's an older man, it's still like a child.
So you guys
know?
broke up, and that's why you got back into.
Yeah, I broke up with him, and I decided, you know, is kind of all that I know.
How many scenes have you shot since you got back into it?
I don't know. I don't keep track.
A lot, though. Okay.
I could look in the calendar and start counting.
Right.
Yeah,
Is
I kind
it
of
still
do
kind of
both.
exciting?
Super exciting. Yeah, especially having been gone for so long.
Yeah.
So it's cool to be able to like see familiar faces and then also meet new people. And then there's also the awkwardness of like people who have been shooting full time since I've been on my break and are probably thinking like, who the fuck is this girl, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm like kind of thinking in my head like, where you're at in your career right now is where I was at when I took my break. So like that's why some people already kind of know me. But I never expected anybody to like know who I am. I wasn't going to be like offended or anything like that. And I feel like since I've come back, I'm having to make up for lost time, which it's a bit of a challenge because now I live in Vegas. So now I know what it feels like to do all the traveling. Because I remember living in LA full time, and when girls would have to travel here, I'd be like, gosh, that must like be so much.